Hey there everyone, it's Val, and welcome back to Skyrim Zahjira's Travels. And there we go. Alrighty. Okay fellas, let's go. What was that? Alright fellas. Well, if there was anybody really close, they would have heard that. Dang it. Khajiit was just going to ask her friends, once again, to go all stealthy. Well, so much for having a spell that would help her see. See the Troger. Oh, that was an empty one, wasn't it? Why did Khajiit pick that up? Don't need that. Ah, Khajiit hears a voice. Hello, Spirit Advisor. Quintal. Khajiit is not doing too bad, other than accidentally shouting when she didn't mean to. How are you doing today? That is some well-aged cabbage. Although, perhaps those four conspirators that Gwyvain saw, overheard, left that. Yeah, this looks way too fancy to be a catacomb. It looks like somebody's house.
You've arrived at last.
Ah.
The heroine who prevented me from being bound returns to my fold.
Okay.
I have much to thank you for, little one. When you die, I will raise you, and you can take your place by my side.
Khajiit declines. That would be Potema, and apparently sneaking was not very useful. Fellas. Oh, okay, never mind. You're following. She just felt suddenly very alone. So is this... This must be an image of Potema, and that's why it seemed like she spoke from it. The Wolf Queen. You see her wearing wolf pelts and a wolf hat, head hat. Well, Khajiit hopes if she goes through that the... Okay. The boys can follow. Alright, she does not see. Not flammable. Alright. Oh, hello. Alright. Droger do not have souls in them. So there is nothing stopping Khajiit from doing this? Yep, that's what she thought. Yep. Well, when she's close enough, her aura spell, which helps protect her friends, helps reveal Droger. So at least there's that. Sort of a poor man's detect undead spell as a side effect. Alright, that doesn't seem to go anywhere. Really not a fan of animal heads on the wall. Yep. That's what you thought. Ah, she has to admit, she is enjoying herself. Even though we are trying to stop a horrible thing, she is enjoying... Yes, she's even enjoying the skeletons on the floor, because it means she's just adventuring again. She doesn't have that weight on her shoulder that she had. And that would be... cobwebs. And it feels so good to be doing that again. The exploring and the not worrying and feeling rushed. She missed that. She missed it. Okay. Nope, really is a wall. It's very drippy here because she wants to move. Ooh. Let's wonder where that went. This must all be an old part of the Castle Dower. Has to be. Is that where Castle Dower got its name because it belonged to the asshat Wolf Queen? Possibly. Okay. You guys are being very stealthy. You're even weirding Khajiit out. She keeps going, are they there? Where are they? But there are some living people. But apparently not close by. She's picking up all the... Ooh! That is something she's not seen that she recalls. That looks as if it's made out of, Daedric metal. Well, this part. Or at least it's done in the design of it, anyway. Based on the one piece of Daedric she's seen that she recalls, which is Karjo's boots. She would love to find more for Karjo. She thinks he would look totally fearsome, decked out in a full suit of Daedric. Okay. Down you go. Oh, you dodged it.
Hello? Who's there? That's your bet. I found you. You're pathetic.
Okay. She said Khajiit was pathetic, but Khajiit begs to differ. Khajiit wants to check to see if she has... Good, she does not have any of the black soul gems on her. That's why she chose to put her bow down, because she was holding the one that casts soul trap.
Vampires. Now would not be a good time to be one.
No, definitely not here and not now. So, if Khajiit was right in her conjecture that the mage that we bought those spells from was a vampire, obviously she is a law-abiding vampire, or she would not be in the court of Elisef. Ooh. That's nice looking. Ah, and a key? Ah, that means Khajiit won't have to pick a lock. Those... not worth carrying. That? If it wasn't something that vampires tend to wear, she has to say it does look awesome. And she kind of likes the look of the boots, too. If she were somebody who wore leather armor, of course, which she's not. But if she were. Ah. Let's get rid of this. You were elven. Now, are you one of the people that Gwyvain saw or not? Khajiit is suspecting not. She probably would have said something about glowing eyes, or perhaps she did and Khajiit just missed it. That is also possible. What's this? Ooh, a book. Alright. We might read that book. It's the silver Khajiit's after for these. Although, she will admit she has been contemplating making the tent look nice with, you know, plates and stuff out. Or, you know. But, worst case, she can melt it down for silver. For other things. Well, obviously the wine was here, and now we're starting to get into something. Looks like this was probably blocked up at one point and unblocked, to judge by all the dust and dirt and debris. Alright, Khajiit thinks we are going to check this book out. And it's a good as time as any to have a little read of a book. Alright. There. Just so we don't get interrupted. The way behind is clear. Or as clear as we can make. Oh. Must check all the things. Okay. Alright. Khajiit has got all the barrels now, yes? Yes. This is a book that she hasn't read before. Surfeit of Thieves by Anis Naru. This looks interesting, said Indek, his eyes narrowing to observe the black caravan making its way to the spires of the secluded castle. A gaudy, alien coat of arms marked each carriage, the lacquer glistening in the light of the moons. Who do you suppose they are? They're obviously well off, smiled his partner Haraya. Perhaps some new imperial cult, dedicated to the acquisition of wealth? Go into town and find out what you can about the castle, said Indek. I'll see if I can learn anything about who these strangers are. We'll meet on this hill tomorrow night. Haraya had two great skills, picking locks and picking information. By dusk of the following day, she had returned to the hill. Indek joined her an hour later. The place is called Aldora, she explained. It dates back to the Second Era, when a collection of nobles built it to protect themselves during one of the epidemics. They didn't want any of the diseased masses to get into their midst and spread the plague, so they built up quite a sophisticated security system for the time. Of course, it's mostly fallen into ruin, but I have a good idea about what kind of locks and traps might still be operational. What did you find out? I wasn't nearly so successful, frowned Indek. No one seems to have any idea about the group, even that they were here. I was about to give up, but at the Charter House, I met a monk who said that his masters were a hermetic group called the Order of Saint Eudna. I talked to him for some time, this fellow name of Partheon, and it seems they're having some sort of ritual feast tonight. Are they wealthy? Asked Haraya impatiently. Embarrassingly so, according to the fellow, but they're only at the castle for tonight. I have my picks on me, winked Haraya. Opportunity has smiled on us. She drew a diagram of the castle in the dirt. The main hall and kitchen were near the front gate, and the stables and secured armory were in the back. The thieves had a system that never failed. Haraya would find a way into the castle and collect as much loot as possible, while Indek provided the distraction. He waited until his partner had scaled the wall before rapping on the gate. Perhaps this time he would be a bard, or a lost adventurer. The details were most fun to improvise. Haraya heard Indek talking to the woman who'd come to the gate, but she was too far away to hear the words exchanged. He was evidently successful. A moment later, she heard the door shut. The man had charm, she would give him that. Only a few of the traps and locks to the armory had been set. Undoubtedly, many of the keys had been lost in time. Whatever servants had been in charge of securing the Order's treasures had brought a few new locks to affix. It took extra time to maneuver the intricate hasps and bolts of the new traps before proceeding to the old but still working systems. But Haraya found her heart beating with anticipation. Whatever lay beyond the door, she thought, must be of sufficient value to merit such protection. When at last the door swung quietly open, the thief found her avarice avaricious dreams paled to reality. A mountain of golden treasure, ancient relics glimmering with untapped magicka, weaponry of matchless quality, gemstones the size of her fist, row after row of strange potions, and stacks of valuable documents and scrolls. She was so enthralled by the sight, she did not hear the man behind her approach. "You must be the Lady Trest," said the voice, and she jumped. It was a monk in a black hooded robe, intricately woven with silver and gold threads. For a moment she could not speak. This was the sort of encounter that Indic loved, but she could think to do nothing but nod her head with what she hoped looked like certainty. "I'm afraid I'm a little lost," she stammered. "I can see that," the man laughed. "That's the armory. I'll show you the way to the dining hall. We were afraid you weren't going to arrive. The feast is nearly over." Haraya followed the monk across the courtyard to the double doors leading to the dining hall. A robe identical to the one he was wearing hung on the hook outside, and he handed it to her with a knowing smile. She slipped it on. She mimicked him as she lowered the hood over her head and entered the hall. Torches illuminated the figures within around the table. Each wore the uniform black robe that covered all features, and from the look of things, the feast was over. Empty plates, platters, and glasses filled every inch of the wood, with only the faintest spots and dribbles of the food remaining. It was a breaking of a fast, it seemed. For a moment, Haraya stopped to think about poor, lost Lady Trest, who had missed her opportunity for gluttony. The only unusual item on the table was its centerpiece, a huge golden hourglass which was on its last minute's worth of sand. Though each person looked alike, some were sleeping, some were chatting merrily to one another, and one was playing a lute. Indic's lute, she noticed, and then noticed Indic's ring on the man's finger. Haraya was suddenly grateful for the anonymity of the hood. Perhaps Indic would not realize that it was she, and that she had blundered. "Trest," said the young man to the assembled, who turned to her as one, and burst into applause. The conscious members of the order arose to kiss her hand to introduce themselves. Nerdla, Sulek, Kyler. The names got stranger. Tonyup, Hiltis, Notoriap. She could not help laughing. "I understand. It's all backwards. Your real names are Aldrin, Celesis, Relic, Poinot, Stillith, and Parathion." "Of course," said the young man. "Won't you have a seat?" "Say," giggled Haraya, getting into the spirit of the mask and taking an empty chair, "I suppose that when the hourglass runs out, the backward names go back to normal?" "That's correct, Trest," said the woman next to her. "And Khajiit can't help but notice that Trest," said Ford, "is dessert." She has a bad feeling about this story. "It's just one of our order's little amusements. This castle seemed like the appropriately ironic venue for our feast, devised as it was to shun the plague victims who were in their way a walking dead." Haraya felt light-headed from the order of the torches, and bumped into the sleeping man next to her. He fell face forward onto the table. "Ah, poor Etrusik Tizrif," said a neighboring man, helping to prop the body up. "He's given us so much." "And that name is First Course." "Oh, these are vampires, aren't they?" "That's Indirect, isn't it?" That's why his... Okay, Khajiit's getting ahead of the story. Haraya stumbled to her feet and began walking uncertainly to the front gate. "Where are you going, Trest?" asked one of the figures, his voice taking on an unpleasant, mocking quality. "My name isn't Trest," she mumbled, gripping Indic's arm. "I'm sorry, partner. We need to go." The last crumb of sand fell in the hourglass as the man pulled back his hood. It was not Indic. It was not even human, but a stretched grotesquerie of a man with hungry eyes and a wide mouth filled with tusk-like fangs. She called it vampires. Haraya fell back into the chairs, the figure they called Haraya fell back into the chair of the figure they called Etrusik Tizrif. His hood fell open, revealing the pallid, bloodless face of Indic. As she began to scream, they fell on her. In her last living moment, Haraya finally spelled Tresset backwards. Dessert. She should have done that before. Oh. Yeah. Okay, Khajiit is gathering from the chosen media matter that that vampire liked reading about her own asshattery kind. Alright, back to things. Back to the sneaking and the exploring and the looking, which she loves to do so much. It's alright, fellas. Fellas? Be stealthy, please. Thank you. Just checking. Okay. Khajiit is hearing something. It sounds oddly familiar. It sounds very similar to the noise that she remembers hearing the first time we fought Potema. It's the casting, isn't it? Can she have her arrow back? Apparently not. Alright. Okay. She's glad she's so light-footed that she doesn't set off traps that she fails to notice. There was a time when she did set them off. To be honest, she's not sure how... Is it just set off by stepping on it? She wonders if that fellow died that way, or if he was placed there after he died. Ah. Spells. Well, that one wasn't broken. This one... She would like her arrow back if she could, but no. Alright. They all look enchanted. That is not something she normally sees. She is just dropping off the heavy stuff that there is no point in carrying. Ah. Ooh. Can Khajiit shoot through this? Yes, yes she can. And Khajiit can't help but notice that this particular bow is getting a little low. Just checking in case on a floor above or below close enough to see. We are not. This actually goes quite far, doesn't it? Alright. Yes. Khajiit sees you. Oh, that was bad. That was not so bad. Alright, she will explore this room in a moment, but she just wanted to put down some protection. Before she did. She's hoping she can melt these down. Getting all the things. Alright, fellas. Okay. Hi. Ah. Mm-hmm. Fire. Your best defense against most everything, except fire-breathing dragons. Alright, since I just crashed, just about time to end the episode anyway. I'm not sure at which point I last saved it, but I will, off camera, get her back to that point. After having looted that particular body. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far this afternoon. I will be gone for 2 hours, and then I'll be back for 4 more hours of Skyrim Zahjira's Travels. And Quintel, so sorry I did not see your comment that you made half an hour ago. Whoopsie. Obviously, Zahjira was very intent on doing things. Thanks for stopping by, Quintel. Awesome to see ya. And anybody else watching? I will see you guys in about 2 hours. Possibly Quintel too, if he's around. Alrighty, guys. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, she'd like to sneak. The darkest corners we see.